All right. Hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right. So, as I mentioned at the beginning of this week, I have family visiting, and so my week's going to be just a little bit different than usual. So sorry that I didn't get to see you guys for the last 2 days, but for the last 2 days, I have had this image burned in my mind, and I actually even hopped on like I was going to do a video, and then I got called back into the kitchen. And didn't get a chance to. So anyway, hi guys, so great to see you all. So yes, it's been a week of like changeable attempts and timelines. But so here's what came into my head 2 days ago. I pictured very specifically like a dumpster, but it was a red dumpster, so definitely stood out in my mind. But it was like a full on, like the big dumpsters with the big lid, like industrial size. And it was like there was a sense of anxiety around it. And the thought process was like something was in that dumpster, but somebody didn't even know. It was like right there. So, it's like, oh, if only somebody knew that whatever it is that's been lost, whatever has been thrown out, that it's right there. You'd have to go dumpster diving to go get it, but it's right there. So it was just this sense of like angst surrounding this image of a big old dumpster. And it was, I don't know if this is going to be more of like a metaphor, when we don't realize it's something we said, trashed something, and we kind of wrecked something, and it'll become, in retrospect later, I'll be like, oh my God, I totally like messed this one up. Or if this is literally like, it seemed like in my mind's eye, there was a piece of paper with something printed on it. But I don't really know, again, if that's going to be metaphor or not. So we'll keep all that in mind. And actually, you know what? I think I want to go ahead and get this. I don't know what the item is, and I feel like we should start out with that in this story. If we can just see first and foremost, what is it? Hi, everyone. So great to see everybody. So nice to see you guys. Oh, you guys are so amazing. Thank you. We have 3 of coins. Okay, so hang on. There's a whole array of things that this could be, right? Whatever has been potentially thrown away, we're going to keep this broad right now, could actually be like the opportunity to collaborate. So maybe it is a message. And this could even be like, even though I'm referring to it as like a dumpster, keep in mind there's a lot of different ways that we accidentally throw stuff away. Maybe something gets put in the spam folder and deleted. Maybe it's a good thing to check our phones and go through, spam in our email or on our computer or something, because we see this boy on a computer right now. He's looking at an airplane. This could be somebody who's losing their flight itinerary, could be losing a ticket. It's sometimes it's really hard to go back and recover stuff if we think we already printed something and then we delete the message, if somebody's got tickets or something that need to be held on to. Maybe something doesn't download properly that we think did, and then we can't find it. But this is like that gentle urge to like reach out, if do the check of whatever important, like in this case, like I say, maybe tickets just because of that airplane here. When we see this feminine, this girl. Sorry, guys. I know that did its little buffer thing. I think we should be back and pretty smooth now. But sorry about the little frozen and buffer thing that YouTube does sometimes. I think it's because of the live stream aspect. But in any case, we see this girl, and she's over here like feeding the goats. She's sitting on like a block of ice. There's a rooster down here. We don't see her face, and he's otherwise very busy. And then behind them both, we see kind of like some ancient like etchings that you would typically see, like some of the fancier pottery from like ancient Greece and Rome. Sometimes, there'll be like a dark outline with, figures, doing historic or heroic deeds or something. But there's like a story here. So I'm picturing maybe this is some photos getting deleted on accident. Maybe right now I'm inclined to say that a masculine might be, because what's in the back of his mind and quite large is the thought of her, right? I don't know if she has goats or if this is going to have more to do with, like, let's say maybe some Capricorn energy, or maybe those are Rams and I should think of Aries energy. This is actually 3 of Pentacles here. So I'm thinking that he maybe has lost her contact information, is what this is making me think of right now. I don't know if he intended to send a message to her. She's certainly in the back of his mind, and he's checking. Maybe he's trying to figure out where he's supposed to be flying, where he's supposed to be going. But it's like, where's her address? Where is her? Oh man, I got to find her contact information so I can interact with her. 8 of Cups. Okay. There's something here. There's all these stars in the galaxy, right? There's a lot of different ways that this could go. 8 of Cups is about we've walked away. We put something in our rearview mirror, but when we're talking about a 3 of Pentacles, this is either like, I want to change and I want to go work and interact with somebody else. How do I find them again? I'm walking away from some other scenario of my life, and now I want to go and deal with somebody else. With that 3 of Coins, this could be a shift or a change in partnership, collaboration. I'm quitting this job. I want to reach out to that other company now and let them know, hey, I'm available. It could be a lot of different things right now. It doesn't have to be about love, but we do have now a 10 of Cups, and we've got somebody here in the cowboy hat doing some, kind of like, I'm picturing, they're on the dance floor and he's obviously leaning in to whisper something dirty in her ear. Sorry, I'm not going sweet nothings today. I feel like he's talking dirty in her ear. She got a big old grin about it too. That 10 of Cups, look at the different landscapes we have. We have like a lightning storm here in the desert. And this always looks like the Las Vegas skyline to me, always. But then we have kind of like flatter plains. Here we have more rugged terrain, almost looks like, like mountainous turf, like maybe Colorado. And then we have these a lake that has all of these, lily pads. So think about all the different locations that we've got. I kind of feel like if there's this question about where she is, by the way, I don't know if this is like a drink here in the middle with a piece of lime on it, some red beverage with a lime on it. I don't even know what that is. It's like tropical punch or something like that, but it's obviously a mixed drink with a lime on the edge. Maybe a Cosmo, but it's in the wrong glass to be a Cosmo. But in any case, obviously these two had some wonderful connection at some point in time, because that's what he's feeling like. He's got to figure out, now that he's walking away from something. And I want to say it's been a long time coming, because we have this statue here in the middle of everything. And somebody in like a Pueblo housing, we keep seeing images of the desert. The desert can just represent a big dry chapter of somebody's life. And she's like the bright spot. She is the water in his life. She is the emotion in his otherwise kind of like dry landscape. But if he has thrown something away, I want to go back to that. The fact that he's sitting there on the computer looking at an airplane, I don't know if he has something to do with aviation. Perhaps, like I said, maybe he's looking at, flights, or maybe he cares about what flight he's on, about what plane he flies on, or maybe he's a pilot or something here, though, about I want to leave one place. I want to go someplace else. It's all about my 10 of Cups. Family account. Yes, sweetheart. Thank you so much. You are so kind. Thank you, love. That was so generous, honey. Thank you for that donation. We have a 7 of Pentacles. Okay, so listen, she is definitely not the one that is dealing with any of this right now, because she's sleeping in this. She is fast asleep, and we got the hand of the universe, like giving her a little, pat on the crown of her head, like, you just rest. No, this isn't for you to deal with. You're not the one who lost anything. You're not the one who accidentally threw away contact information. You're not the one who tossed an email, or you're not the one. 7 of Pentacles talks about a huge elapse of time. A lot of growth has occurred. We've got these blooming blue roses. Why blue? We also have poppies that have no more petals on them, but the one poppy that's still about to bloom, we can see it right there. These look like kind of standard poppies, like, I don't know, maybe it's the Icelandic poppy. I can't really tell. It looks red. If it were brilliant orange, then I would say Icelandic poppy. If it was big and pink and ruffly, I would say red seed poppy, but I think that's just kind of standard poppy. We have the Hermit. I said, why the blue roses? And we have the Queen of Cups. So I'm going to go ahead and say she's been blue for a while. She's been alone for quite a while. And here she is kind of in the middle of like Bryce Canyon. She could definitely be a Virgo, considering this is Virgo. And then we have more earth energy on her as a Queen of Pentacles. Again, she's been in a desert of sorts as well. So if she's been out here by herself, she could be semi-spiritual as well. By the way, this like pyramidal like temple is kind of reminiscent to me. There's like a church that's very new age looking in Sedona, Arizona, that I have seen when I was there before. And this is kind of reminiscent of that, even though this landscape is definitely Bryce Canyon, at least from what I recall. I like the American desert. I spent some time living in the desert myself. And so, you know, I have nice memories of different, you know, I love geological formations, and it's really nice to be around these really impressive landscapes, you know. But I definitely feel like although there's beauty here, there's a lot of sadness. Somebody drives a Chevy. We have a Chevy key right here. This is very old school Chevy. That reminds me so much of like 1970s Chevy station wagons. That's a very old school square key, but that is a straight up Chevy key. So just as a side note. And then we have this coyote head. Coyote is a great trickster, but this is a masculine. So as much as she's been alone, as much as she's been out here on the hermit's journey, as much as she's been in a dry desert that actually had a lot more landscape to it, a lot more interesting landscape. And a Queen of Pentacles has found a way to make herself a living. She has found a way to become very possibly like affluent, very wealthy. You know, here's the thing. Anybody who, if you live in the desert, you know that, you know, all the creatures there are totally different than what lives in, you know, mountainous regions where there's great water sources. You know, the desert has extremes. It's extremely hot or extremely cold. There's very little rain. But when you do get that little bit of rain, then you see that there's so much more. So many things go dormant until there's enough water. And the things that do live in the desert are very camouflaged, and they're very well adapted to those extremes. And so they're very hardy creatures, you know, the lizards and even the birds, and, you know, everything there is just kind of like, it's very hardy. And you can have a lot of respect for desert creatures and things like coyotes and such. Also, like there's a whole different lifestyle, right? You live in the desert and it's a whole different lifestyle. You do everything different there. And I'm just picturing that she maybe has adapted to a very dry area, but she too is pretty hardy and has found a way to make something out of nothing for herself. She perhaps, even if it's been a lonely journey for her, I think she's probably done well for herself. But to go back to the coyote, so coyote is a great trickster, right? And we have this man with a coyote's head, and on one hand he carries this key, on the other hand he's holding on to a pentacle. All of this is very unusual to see on a hermit's card. That is not normally at all what we would see on a hermit's card. Hermit's card is where you sit and, you know, you usually have the bearded man standing there, you know, contemplating, coming to the, usually like the end of a journey and holding a lantern. This fella has no lantern. So we know that this is more her card. This is her having been solo, turned herself into a queen, made basically, you know, she made a silver spoon out of plastic, to quote Jadina. But then we have him. He's not the hermit. He's been the trickster. Like, not sure about what to do. Do I go toward her? Do I drive toward her? Or do I hang back and do something else for money? Do I focus on money? It's like my right hand wants to do this, my left hand wants to do that. So I think it's very interesting that maybe in this storyline, it looks like it's shaping up to where he's trying to figure out how to find her again. But it does look like for some prolonged amount of time where she's invented or reinvented her life. This, by the way, she may look great in a bikini, or that's how he remembers her. I don't know. Actually, I had to draw a top on her because she had like bikini bottoms on, but she didn't have a top originally. I had to give her one. So just as a side note there. We've got the 5 of Wands. Oof. Okay, so when I'm trying to figure out like what on earth happened, because this is about him trying to figure out, I'm leaving one place to go to another, but how do I figure out where I'm supposed to be going? Whatever he threw away was unfortunately the access, maybe the key. Is he looking for a key to his car? Is he looking for, maybe he remembers when he went to see her before. Maybe he doesn't know where she lives anymore. He's trying to find that. He threw away the directions. And again, I mean, this could have been a long time ago when he was at her house, or a long time ago when he, held the key to her heart. This could all be metaphorical, of course. Now we have this 5 of Wands, which is, now we're in his brain, and his brain is crazy. His brain has got couple of cowboys riding reverse cowboy on the weasel who is flying through the sky. We've got a house party that has gone all kinds of ruckus, right? We got a kerfuffle happening here for sure. We have got the police here with a like Mardi Gras skeleton head, or I guess maybe I should say like Day of the Dead. But it feels like Mardi Gras is happening here. And it's just madness, it's just chaos. And everything here says maybe his world is messy. Maybe he's picturing, I don't know. I don't love the fact that we got a weasel in the sky. Okay. I don't love that at all. We also have somebody with a fox head over here. So we have deception, right? Because we got the fox head on somebody's head. And then we've got the skeleton head. And then we've got the weasel. Like all of this starts to look like his thoughts go round and round. And he's either trying to argue, like, what can I say? What can I hold back? I know I'm going to, it's the truth is going to be demanded. That's why the police are there. But then on the other hand, maybe I can weasel my way out of something if I make it really joyful to talk to her again. On the other hand, maybe there's another way I can lie about stuff. I don't know. This person with the fox head doesn't have clothes on, and it's very similar to our coyote. So there's some kind of trickster energy that makes me think there was trickery involved, because she's not got clothes on and he too doesn't. So I'm thinking that there was trickery at some point in an amorous connection. Trickery was involved to get her into an amorous connection with him at some point in the past. And it seems as if he's trying to figure out how to, it's definitely about getting back to her. It's not about leaving her. It's about leaving another desert scenario to get back to his 10 of Cups. But I fear in this, he perhaps has already, damaged this and is trying to do damage control and trying to figure out, how would I get back? What would be the key that would unlock this story for me again? How could I show back in her life and maybe be like, I lost your number. It accidentally, I used to know, your phone number or your email, and it somehow got, accidentally thrown away. When I kind of think that this is, I don't know, I can't tell if this is accidental or if this is legit, that he threw something away, or he's going to claim that it was accidental. I don't like the weasel, and I don't like the coyote, and I don't like the fox, even though I like all those animals just fine. I just don't like them in this context. 2 of Swords. And again, we have the snake and we have the fox. By the way, I saw 2 snakes, little idiots, and then another one today. So I'm terrified of snakes, although they were doing such stupid things, running right in my way, that I was like, I cannot even be scared of you, because y'all look way more scared of me. Just gardeners, but I don't even like worms. There's something about snakes that just freaked me out. But I was surprised at how I was more like, what are you doing? And they were just all over the place. And it was just, anyway, it's the season, right? It's the year of the snake. So maybe that should be a really good sign, because it's all about change. So maybe something's changing in my life, or maybe there's a truth coming in, right? But that's how I interpret serpents. Even though I like change, I just don't like it. I don't think I need a serpent to tell me that life will change, but we'll roll with it anyway. But on this card, I like it just fine, right? Because they're in this place of saying, okay, so I've got this issue going on. I've got this, maybe I'm afraid she's going to block me if she gets any vibe that I'm being foxy with her. Maybe she already thinks I'm foxy, but now I want to tell the truth. Maybe she's, not going to know what the truth is, or maybe she's not going to want to hear from me at all. Two of Swords is definitely the blockage. I need to, hang on, I got to get a little bit more specific on this because, you know, that Two of Swords comes out after that Five of Wands, right? So all this thought process. But this still feels like, what is the thing that has been accidentally thrown away? Was it the relationship, or was it, like I said, her contact information? Why is he on the computer? Let me see if I can pinpoint more what that is. Force. This is the Leo card of strength. And we've got kind of a circus energy, and we got this little mime up here, and we got a lion tamer. So if he's trying to figure out, I think he's trying to get the courage to reach out to her in the first place. So maybe he lost his courage. Maybe that's what went into the dumpster more so than anything. The courage to try to talk to her, the courage to, and you notice that this mime circus performer has a giant heart on, you know, the outside of their outfit. I'm wondering if what he's trying to find, what he accidentally threw away, was his courage to actually, you know, like speak from the heart. That could be one of the things that he's tossed out. Let's just ask, why'd you go into this weird coyote energy? Why are we seeing you as a fox, as the weasel? Six of Coins. I mean, this says, I don't love the fact this is off planet, but, and there is again that depiction of the desert out here, but we see him say, well, like, I really wanted to give to this. I wanted to receive and I wanted to give. However, let's not forget that the Six of Coins says there was giving and receiving. So maybe it wasn't with her. Maybe that's why we have, you know, something that was untrue. And I shouldn't even say untrue. We don't have a card of lies, but we have symbols of less than honesty, right? That's what, you know, coyote and fox are. We have the Hanged Man sideways. So I definitely feel like this could have been a timing thing. Like, well, I really wanted to give. But I didn't know when I was really going to be able to. I was trying to buy myself time. That would make sense if we go back to the coyote on that hermit card. I was trying to buy myself time. Do I, you know, drive forward to her? Do I open up the key to my heart? Do I come toward her, or do I keep working on, you know, Pentacles first? But am I correct in thinking that you already found a way to get everybody's clothes off? Sorry, in this storyline, we had that hermit come out with the Queen of Pentacles, and we can't ignore the imagery on that card. 10 of Swords. And we got this like Austin Powers zebra print couch thing. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and say that their romance, intimate romance relationship might have actually ended up feeling kind of cheap, and it ended badly. Why? We've got like a traffic guard down here with a full-on stop sign, and it's like, oh, I don't think this ended well at all. I'm guessing that the Queen of Pentacles might have actually said this is really cheesy, or there's something about this. I don't want to do this intimate romance. None of this looks like this is, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look like it ended nicely. We have a King of Cups sideways. Okay, so all I can say is whatever happened here, and the only reason I'm saying cheesy is because I personally, and please remember, this is just my personal interpretation of this, I've never seen fake zebra print that I thought looked classy. Now, that being said, it doesn't mean I don't dig it, but I'm still going to say, because I like lots of tacky stuff, but I'm going to say that that is historically pretty tacky, and oftentimes is associated, like if we want to think about, you know, Austin Power cheeseball stuff, like I think there's probably some kind of animal print, something or other. Now, I wear animal print, so please just know I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying I like cheesy, tacky, but that's why I'm interpreting it this way. I'm going to say something about the romance was cheesy and tacky. It felt that way. That hurt his feelings, that it hurt his feelings. But with the King of Cups sideways, it also may be accurate. So let me put it in this context. If he wasn't really ready, wasn't really sure when he was going to be giving, full-blown Six of Pentacles, but was definitely trying to build that intimate connection, that's where it could have been like, wow, so you aren't offering anything other than intimacy. Where's the meaning behind it? Now it feels cheap. Now it feels like this didn't mean anything. So now it feels like it's over, and it's over badly. And this could have been him trying to basically, like, selfishly get someone to give him emotions and sensuality without actually truly investing his own emotions, because we had that Hanged Man. And that would make sense with the Coyote. That would make sense with all of this. And I don't love seeing these sideways cards, because it was like, this is too, like, I want this, but I also want to withhold half of the real information. And so, of course, I could see how things got, like, somebody got really fed up and is like, this is just cheesy. This is tacky. This is not much of anything. Then you really aren't offering anything genuinely. I think they may have implied that they were, and then, actions didn't match words, is my guess. A fox and a coyote, they're not dogs. They kind of look like them sometimes if you see them in the distance, but they're not. And I kind of feel like that's what this was. They said many of the right things, maybe enough to entice her, seduce her to a certain extent. But then when it came to, like, actually being ready to lock it down, because I'm hearing, if you liked it, then you should have put a ring on it. I don't think that they were ready to do that. And that maybe is the biggest, concern on that. So we've got the Lovers card upright. I mean, the Lovers card is a card of choice, but I'm thinking that their choice was, I just want to have a lover. And you notice this is all twilight. There's nothing in the light of day. This is all by the moon. By the moon. This is all hidden. I want you to be my secret lover. I don't want to announce it to anybody. I want to keep you secret from my family. I want to keep you secret from my friends. I want to keep, you're my secret. And there's layers of secrecy around it. That might have been the thing that was real sucky and real cheesy and real sleazy. Why would you have wanted it secret? I'm not saying it was. I'm saying it came across that way. Because why do you need it to be secret? Three of Cups. Three of Cups can indicate that there's another person. Or it can be that they get thrills and chills out of, like, it's just so fun to keep a clandestine romance going, because here it is, nighttime dining, and we've got the moon and kind of a fancy restaurant. Why would you have wanted to keep this a secret? Ace of Cups, High Priestess. This is so weird. It's weird because I really don't know why this person likes clandestine. I don't know why that, like, is their kink, but in this storyline, it kind of is. It's like, I wanted us to have this secret love story and, know that you love me and I love you, but we don't tell anybody. And then I don't know if they traveled a lot, but we do have, like a nomadic, maybe this is a Bedouin or a Tuareg, but we have somebody, crossing the desert on their camel. And it's like, and here, our high priestess holds the image of the moon. Here again, it's all twilight. It's like, I want you to love me by twilight. I want you to love me in secret. I want it to be secret. And I slip away and we have our secret rendezvous. Is that Karen White? Yeah, Secret Rendezvous. I haven't heard that song in forever. And I like this. I like the idea that I don't, it feels very childish to me. The, why would secrets be better? I don't understand it, but maybe they think that this is very romantic, but again, they weren't ready to actually fully, like, introduce her to anybody. They were not ready. They were not ready to fully commit, but they wanted all of the thrill and the excitement of having a love affair, but just let's keep it always in the dark. And I feel like they had to, like, to do that, they would have to slip away. So they may have appeared single in their day-to-day life, but then, They get to talk to her every night. They get to, call her up and talk into the wee hours and then slip away sometimes. She was definitely their secret. That's why it felt so zebra print cheesy. Like, this is nothing, is it? You're not, this is nothing. And he thinks that she's going to think I'm a liar, a cheat. She may not know, what is, if I was foxy about all of this, why did I do that? What's the truth? He knows all this. He thinks about this. So can we go back one more time? Is the last time I'll ask this question. Is it the whole relationship that you threw in the garbage? Or is it your way back into her life? Or is there something about the key? Or is there something about an email? Is there something about, I'm trying to still figure that out. Oh, the Chariot. I'm going to say all of the above. Every aspect of this, it's like they're realizing they threw this whole relationship into the dumpster because she's moved on from it. She's moved on from the cheesiness or her perception of what that ended up as. She's moved on from, you know what, you can keep your freaking secrets. I'm not going to be anybody's secret. She has moved on from the past. If she said she loved him before, I don't think she's saying those words anymore. What has been lost or what's been put in the dumpster is, you see all the bones? That's like every conversation we had, forget it. There's a great song by Amen, E-A-M-O-N. It's, if you don't like cuss words, don't go listen to it. But it's a great word or a great song. And it's just called I Don't Want You Back, but just prepare yourself because it's a great song. I so adore that song. But it is very blunt about I don't want you back. And I won't sing the rest of it, but that's what comes to mind right now. So I'm wondering if, this was the reason I say it's her moving on is just because I always think this is hilarious. But this little crab up here, it's got a little string of like a pearl necklace on, like a little choker pearl. I don't know why I think that's hilarious. I have no idea why they gave the crab a little nice pearl necklace, but I do think that that's hysterical. That's wisdom. So if she has moved on, and by the way, she could be a Cancerian. He saw her as somebody deeply intuitive, but he wanted there to be this intuitive, like, oh, you want me, and everybody, you want me, and but it's a secret, and you're my. It's like this gave him thrills and chills without ever having to actually step up and commit and introduce somebody as their partner. They wanted their needs fulfilled, which they really liked the secrecy of it. Still doesn't make sense to me other than they were not, they were very selfish. And I think that Hermit card still says maybe they didn't want anybody to know that they were not single. But maybe they were also still trying to decide something about career versus like fully committing, fully opening up their heart with that key. So they threw this whole relationship in the dumpster is what it says. And at this point, even though we see them trying to figure out like how to get it back, they also kind of accidentally threw away all their courage because it's going to be hard to face her most likely. I mean, we see them saying, I have a feeling I'm going to be met with that Two of Swords. Okay. So at this point then, I don't know. What are you doing? Because she's driven away from you. Actually, it's funny because maybe that key is like he had the key to her heart or something, or her car, or something along those lines. But it's like he doesn't know if he can even catch up to her now because she's pretty well gone from what I can tell. Princess of Wands, at least for her in this storyline, she's kind of feeling amazing is what it looks like. She's got these, again, she's here in her like bikini top. I don't have to draw that one on. I don't know. She always seems very comfortable, only half dressed. So good for her for having body confidence, but she's happy, right? We've got fireworks going off. We've got just like a lot of, color and light in her life. I don't see that she's been pining for them or wondering what happened to them. That Ten of Swords was pretty like wow, you're hiding me, which now makes it really, you've just cheapened everything that we had because I'm your secret. Oh, so you've got games that you're playing. You're playing games with me, you're playing games with other people. Yeah, big turn off. We're done. And I think that's what that 10 of swords was for her with that zebra print. And now she's like, I've moved on and I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm doing other things. This is definitely still our Queen of Pentacles with no shirt on. And we have a 10 of Wands. If anything, if she did have to go lick her wounds a little bit, because I always look at that as like, we've got this cheetah who's kind of like under this big rock overhang. She did lick her wounds for a while, right? You know, when animals are not feeling well, or when it's too hot, or when they, you know, if Aries gets stung by a bee, he finds a spot under my desk right here, and he hides until his bee sting doesn't hurt anymore. You know, animals always tuck themselves away. And I think in our way, humans do too. We pull ourselves back from friends sometimes and socializing because we're licking our wounds. So I'm going to say that she did that, but she's done. She's done. I don't think she's hurt anymore. So do you feel like this was lost? Because I don't see her experiencing the feeling of loss. Hell no. Are you kidding me? She's like, let me tell you, darling, I found me in the middle of this. I'm not just a Queen of Pentacles. I'm a Queen of Wands. No, I'm not lost. I'm found. Are you kidding me? Meeting somebody who wanted to keep me a secret? Screw that. Do you realize how hot I am? Do you realize? No wonder she doesn't have clothes on. She's like, excuse me, all this? You think you're going to hide this? You think I'm a secret lover? If you are not proud to take me out, show me off. Let the world see you standing beside me, then you ain't my man. You ain't my woman. Whatever it is, you stand proudly beside me, or I just want to say, fuck off. So sorry. I hear it in a British voice. Actually, I hear it in Monty Python's voices. But you see her saying, I could care less. The whole world can look at me. I don't care. I'm content with who I am. I know who I am. And anybody who's going to be with me, they should like that about me, and they should be somebody who will be seen beside me. I'm nobody's embarrassment. Good for you. Good for you. I so appreciate and admire that point of view. She's like, I would never be anybody's secret. If you aren't proud to be with me, then you got problems. You need to go work on, because all this good, all this yum, yeah, maybe you're too scared to stand beside me because you're afraid, you know, that you don't have what it takes. But I know that I do. I'm not afraid to be seen. So good for her. And by the way, we have that cheetah there at her feet, which I've never noticed before. She may have a house cat. She may have very cat-like qualities to her. She could have very, you know, I think cats are sensual by nature, right? You know, jungle cats, big cats, little cats, the house cats, it doesn't matter. They are just, there's something very like powerful and graceful and also very sensual about them. And I think she has those qualities. And she's, again, very like unashamed of her sensuality. She's very unashamed of who she is. And she definitely has like a lot of fire in her. So good for her. So at this point, if they lost her, if they put this relationship in the dumpster by something so foolish, I just don't, I never figured out why they wanted her to be a secret, or why that was like what they liked, is the secret rendezvous kind of thing. Do we have, actually, let's change decks, because that still bugs me. And I feel like the story's not over when I don't understand why they did that. Because I mean, obviously, like, it cost them this whole situation. So let me see. We've got the Four of Wands in the reverse. They threw away the person they were going to marry because marriage was not something they could do. That's why they wanted to keep it a secret. If I bring this to the forefront, it's like, obviously, this is my person. We're getting married. I don't know if they, you know, we saw the Hermit card and I was reading it as her, but they were on it as well. Two of Swords. Well, darling, let me put it this way. You got what you wanted. if you threw this away, and this is what happens when we accidentally do something, right? We lose something really important. So I am famous, like in my family. Oh my God, you would not believe how much they razz me over this. I cannot be trusted with any important documents. I lose everything that is, licenses, passport. I actually currently don't know where my passport is. I have one. It's somewhere. It's in my house, but I will lose things for sometimes a year or more. And my family always says, why do you not get stressed out when you lose these things? I'm like, because it's just paper. It doesn't have any bearing on whether or not I'm a real living human. They're like, but you have to have these documents. And I'm like, I know, I lost my birth certificate again, but I have moved a lot in my defense. But I am notorious for losing important papers, documents, licenses, those types of things, because I have disregard. I have disregard for certain things, because I don't think you should ever have to have papers to prove that you're a human being. I'm here. There's the evidence of me. So sorry, but I just can't be bothered with papers. That being said, I get it. You're going to get on an airplane. You have to have your license, blah, blah, blah. And I have my license. But my point is, sometimes when you, like me, when you disregard things like that, guess what? There can be consequences. If I didn't have my license, then I couldn't go get on that airplane, right? Because I have to prove my that I'm a person. So that could cost me a trip if, say, I went to the airport and I didn't have that. When you have disregard for certain things, there can be consequences. And that's basically what this whole story has been about. They accidentally threw away something very, very, very important to them. And now that thing doesn't want them, which is her. At this point, she cannot see them. She cannot, they're not on her radar. She doesn't see them as a romantic partner. She doesn't see them as a person they would marry, that she would marry at this point, because you threw away what you could have had with me. I wasn't that important. You didn't want to be important with me. So therefore, you're no longer important to me. This is just like, hey, you can be full of disregard for certain things, but there can be a cost. But when you disregard a relationship or a person, wow, you're talking about, accidentally losing the thing that you most wanted. And even here, there with that Five of Wands and the Magician, they're thinking about how they can get this back. They're in the catacombs of their mind. The second time we've seen that Five of Wands. The other time is where they had that ruckus house party with the weasel flying through the air. They're trying to picture how they can still get this back. Like, it still doesn't register for them that you threw it away. And it's like, yeah, but it was an accident. Like, I just wasn't ready then. I guess I didn't look at it like that. Seven of Wands. I just have to go fight for it now. I don't know. Is there really, look, you can replace your license. You can replace documents, right? It costs money, by the way. Really annoying when you lose stuff like that. But should you think that you can just get a person back? This would say with the Devil, maybe they actually do believe that. I mean, this is kind of like, well, I'm really hyper-focused on her. I mean, yeah, there's all these other people that want me, but I'm brooding over her. I want the one that I would have to go fight to get back. But that's his own private hell that he created. When we throw stuff away, and then we know that that's the one that we wanted, that is what we wanted, then all of a sudden nothing else will satisfy us. And he's telling himself he can fight for this and he can still get it back and he can figure out a way. But I think he already knows deep down, she's not going to look at me like a suitor. She's not going to be attracted to me. And by the way, again, you notice how her midriff is always bare. Always, always. And even when she was a Queen of Wands, what we saw is her tummy is highlighted. I think she's got really like strong intuition, strong gut. As a Queen of Pentacles or Queen of Wands, Queen of Pentacles specifically, like Virgos tend to be really connected to their gut. And digestion specifically, they rule digestion. So I don't know. I only say that because we had the Hermit there, which would have been strong Virgo. We have a surprisingly few amount of major arcana. We did have Leo from the Strength card. We had Pisces from the Hanged Man. We had Gemini from the Lovers. We did have from the High Priestess. I always put Virgo, Pisces, and Cancer on that. We had Cancer from the Chariot, and that's about it, right? Yeah, we had very few major arcana and now Capricorn from the devil. And I'm sorry, we did have Virgo Gemini because of that magician. But it just kind of seems like I think he's going to, the same way we would feel if we run ourselves ragged because we lost something and we're ready to go dumpster diving, we're ready to do anything to try to go find the thing that we lost. I feel like that's about where this tension is going to take him. It's like, okay, but I can get it back, right? I can, like, I could fight for this. I could do this. I could manifest this, right? How am I going to do this? We got the Four of Cups. It's getting pretty much more hopeless by the day. It's getting pretty much more like it's really sinking in. Oh my God, I lost her. I lost this. I did this. It's really sinking in the same way. Well, probably a lot worse for this character, but the same way when I lose like a document that I really need, and I'm like, oh my God, you got to be kidding me! I did it again. I got to go get a new license. Got to go to the DMV. Got to spend the money. Got to blah, 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 blah. It's so much effort. It's so much extra work. We have that Three of Cups here. This is that reunion, that the opportunity, and even the sky is starting to cry. We got raindrops starting to fall. I feel like this is him realizing that sure, you can date anybody else. There's lots of pretty faces out there, but that one that you want is the one that you blew it with. So you lost that one. You put this relationship in the dumpster for whatever reason. Still doesn't quite make sense to me 100%, but whatever. They didn't think that that was that important, or they wanted to keep it in that weird, secretive, clandestine thing. But you were dealing with a queen. You were dealing with somebody you should have been so proud to stand beside. Were you actually like not proud to be beside her, or were you just somebody who likes the secret? We have the Two of Cups. We have the Eight of Swords. I don't know. This feels like maybe this was a really strong connection for him that he couldn't wrap his head around. And he didn't want to admit how important this connection was. So he intentionally tried to keep it as like purely physical, not let his heart get involved, even though all of his emotions were in it. This is that Two of Cups. And it's like, if this is stuck energy along with the Two of Cups. So if he was trying to deny how important this was and thought, okay, this is like, she's rocking my world, and I don't want to admit that. So let me do my best to make sure that I keep this as a secret. I keep this so that it's just passion oriented. It's like he was trying to talk himself out of having the emotions that he had, which is maybe why it was so insulting to especially you're dealing with a queen and you're going to treat her like a fling or no strings attached and not introduce her to your world. He messed this one up really badly. Well, all I can say is I don't see her taking him back in this story. Let's check real quick and say, am I wrong about this? You guys, thank you for giving it a thumbs up. There's like 370 of you in the room. Thank you to the 150 of you who've given it a thumbs up. Cannot tell you how important that is or how much that helps the whole algorithm thing. You guys are amazing. Thank you for that. That Three of Cups for her. And I'm asking, like, is she ever going to take him back? We've had a Three of Cups, 3 times in this story now. This is her kind of like chit-chatting with friends. This is her, look, he stays on her mind. There is something here where even if she doesn't necessarily want to admit it, I almost feel like there's a couple friends who know about this whole saga who from time to time ask her, have you met somebody else? Are you stuck on him? Like I'm kind of wondering if that doesn't come up. High Priestess. There's maybe even a couple people that know her well that know that this was a really rough situation for her. That there was, I do think it was hard for her to get beyond this, right? We saw her licking her wounds as that cheetah. Hierophant. See, that's what sucks. There's this energy of like, but he's even said this was a Two of Cups that I tried to keep my heart from getting attached to and keep her in the shadows and keep her my secret, instead of just proudly saying, my God, I met this amazing person. I'm so happy to be with her. I'm really struggling with that aspect of the story. I think it's so cowardly and disrespectful and, childish, immature. So I really struggle with that on his part. And then on her part, she's like, it feels like there's this thing where in her mind, she's like, I really thought this is the person I was supposed to marry. Like intuitively, like I knew this. So it's really hard to say, I know that there was something real here. It's hard to like unknow that if you knew that. But what is a queen supposed to do other than, cry it out? She took time. We see on that Tree of Life, this is a very sad chapter for her. We see that timeline though. Just because something is sad, we have more than one timeline in our life. We have more than one great love in our lifetime. We have more than one person who could be like mature enough and that we could love deeply. I can see that, she's definitely had to grieve this because it felt like it was supposed to be her Tree of Life. And I think she'll always believe that could have been, it could have been us together. And even maybe she still says like, we were supposed to be. That's why I met them in the first place. But I've spent a lot of time crying over it. Page of Cups, and I'm ready to meet somebody new. I like the fact that even when something hurts, she still stood in her queen's energy. And, she ended things because she wasn't being treated with respect. If it felt cheesy, if it felt sleazy, if it felt she was being kept a secret. She's like, I'm a freaking queen. I don't do this. And so I'm out. And she did that 10 of Swords, and then she went and she licked her wounds. It doesn't mean, look, to be a queen doesn't mean that you don't get hurt. It just means that you handle your hurt. You take it in stride and you go, well, I wouldn't change my choice because I'm not about to accept being treated as less than what I am. It's really painful. And especially it's a damn shame because this should have been something. But this is where a queen says, you rise to match the queen's energy. I don't suddenly, step down and become less than a queen and accept less than what I'm worth for somebody who's not mature enough to, stand beside me. So good for her for that, is what I would say. Electro Pete's, you are so sweet. Thank you, Angel. Thank you so much. You are so generous, babe. Thank you for that donation. We've got a 10 of Wands and the Magician. Very, very, very powerful. Like, if anything, she's said, I will go ahead and move on and I'll manifest somebody else. She stepped into her masculine energy, interestingly enough. Said, no, I am straight up manifesting somebody other than them. She's not saying, I hope that someday they get strong enough to come toward me. Oh, no. She's like, I don't deal with people that hurt me. And then wait for them to unhurt me. We're not doing, I love Toni Braxton, love the song Unbreak My Heart, Say You Love Me Again. But that is not her anthem. That is not her song in this at all. This feels like, no, she stepped into her divine masculine energy of I'm an action taker, a decision maker. She became Lil Troy. I want to be a baller, shot caller, 20-inch blades on the Impala. Getting laid tonight. Sorry. I love Lil Troy. Strength card. Yeah, she's like, I'm actually calling in this gorgeous, sexy, attractive King of Wands. Bring my dragon man to me. Send me my dragon. I'm attracting my dragon. I'm intending to be with a dragon. This person who didn't have the power to stand beside me and want me to be on his arm and show me to his friends and his family and integrate me into his world in every freaking breath. He's not worth my time, even though it hurt. So who is worth my time? I'm a Queen of Wands going to match with my King of Wands. Somebody who wears their heart outside, somebody who knows just what they want, somebody who's got a certain amount of swagger, somebody who's also very, very very good lover, and I would argue will be a better lover than the person of the past because they're somebody she can respect. Totally different outcome for her. Totally different outcome for her. And she knows she wants to match with the partner that she herself matches with. She wants to match with a king to her queen, a true match. You got to have the guts, you got to have the personal power to do this. Oh my God, Yael Rubin. Oh my God, you are so sweet. Yael Rubin just gifted 20 memberships. Yael, if your name just turned green, that is all compliments of Yael Rubin. So Danielle, White Light, Candace Jackson, Deb, Lanjanae, hi honey, Empress DC. Oh my God, Yael Rubin, you're so amazing. I see and feel the light. Roxanne Farr, Journey of Light, Lindsay S, Grant's Modern Life, Beth, and Ambiently Me, Rachel's Magic, Riley Goss, Honey Lou, Anya Chitranch, Hajare, Jenna McLeod, Sia. Welcome, everybody. This is all courtesy of Yael Rubin. Yael, my darling, as I told you the last time you gifted all those memberships, please let me know if I can pull a couple cards to say thank you. Now times 2. Please let me know if I can do that at the end of this video here. We're just about ready to wrap this one up. I just thought that we should maybe go with one last message. And by the way, I'm sorry, guys, if you are now a new member, just know that gives you access to the members only videos and the members only playlist. You'll definitely want to check that out, especially the video I just posted this past Monday, because every week you guys get a chance to submit a topic that you want a Monday video to be about for members. If I pick your topic, then I do some card pulls for you. I also pick a couple of different winners each week. And if it is your birthday in the members corner, and when it's your birth month, you let me know. And I also pull some cards for you. So I just want you guys to know all that. Okay. Yael. All right. Wonderful. Yael. Stick around, sweetheart, and I'll get you here at the very end, Yael. Let me go ahead and just do this. Our last message for this entire story. This is a great wrap up here. And this is just kind of the bigger overview. We have a Page of Pentacles. It's kind of time for the new investment, is what it says. This story, yes, it was an accidental throwing away of something very precious. But you know what? The story doesn't end there. Instead, we start a new story. The same way sometimes we lose stuff that we can't get back. And we have to accept that it's gone. I know he was saying, I'm still going to fight for this. Maybe I can get it back, blah, blah, blah. But we see the feminine saying, but I'm actually ready for a new beginning. You know, he did kind of throw this away. Ace of Wands. This is even her saying, and I realize I want something new. I'm passionate about somebody totally different. I'm passionate about a different story, a different timeline for my life. This is showing up to me as a big overview. Is it's actually our feminine who's in the power position here. She's not stuck waiting for somebody to come back to her. She's not stuck waiting for somebody to come in and make it right with her. She holds all the power and always has. He didn't choose to introduce her into his world and have her as his mate. She doesn't now want that person anymore, even though it hurt, even though there was a lot to cry over. She's actually much more passionate about meeting somebody that's very different than him, as we saw. She's very much in the fire energy. So really, really strong that, yeah, he's not getting her back. All right, so we are going to leave that one there. Sorry, but like what he lost it's kind of like that. There's no takesy backsies here. Now, let me go ahead and Yael Rubin, let me pull 6 cards for you, my love, because you gifted before and now you've gifted again. Normally do just a little 3-card pull here and there. Sometimes I just like to say thank you and you're so generous, but let me get 2 separate messages here. Okay, so we'll do 3 out of 1 deck. Excuse me, you've got 4, and then we'll do a separate message altogether. We have Girl of Cups. That's the Page of Cups. We have the Fool, strong Aries, doubling down with the Tower and the 10 of Cups. Oh, this is lovely. There is a huge sense of massive transformation. There is a huge sense of it's like not only is the sky the limit, but whatever narrow energy, whatever had been confining a character, those walls have just completely been blown down. We have a character that is perhaps either, I would say this is a new adventure in emotions. And I feel like it's what our character themselves has done. They're swimming in a whole new ocean of emotion right now. And although it felt a little tentative at first, like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and it could be somebody putting themselves out there for the first time in a long time and in a different way. This, the pages are messengers. They're the little first foray into the court cards, right? So it's not huge action, but it's the thought process that begins the ball rolling. All of a sudden we go from, just our most, I'll say, insignificant court card to a very, very, very major, because it's our very first card in the major arcana, brand new beginning. So we went from, I'm kind of thinking about a new beginning, to I'm having a new beginning in every way. This is, Yael, I know you've told me before that you walk around and carry Noah in a backpack. And I'm so sorry, but obviously I'm a fictional storyteller and this is just fiction. But that just totally made my day just now to see somebody with their backpack carrying something precious and with their trusty little, well, in this case, foxy little dog with them. But this new step forward is just adorable, because it just makes me smile. They've got everything that they need. This character has everything that they need as they take this step forward. And then we have like the universe coming in to say, and let me clear a path for you as well. Oh, did you say you wanted something different, character? Did you say you'd like to step forward on a new adventure? Are you ready for some different energy in your life? Beautiful. It's like the universe just hopped in a gigantic bulldozer and just is like clearing a path right and left so that our character can like drive on this nice paved smooth road that is like cutting a pathway forward directly to a 10 of cups. Now, again, this is like an emotional road forward, but to have all the cups and then sandwiched in the middle, we've got that fiery energy of Aries. Fire and water make steam. So we've got possibly a very, and even here we've got like steam or clouds. I'm picturing somebody like bubbling something on their stove right now and making like the most delicious like dish ever. I'm picturing it like pasta or something with a sauce or something. And it's like, wow, the whole house is wafted full of these luscious scents. But we have a character who's like, they put all the right ingredients in this time. There is a pathway, though, that is clearing for our character that takes them directly to a 10 of cups. And this is 10 of cups to savor slowly. You notice we have the snail. That doesn't mean that part's happening slow. It says that our character gets to arrive at a 10 of cups and then like sip on it and enjoy it. Now I'm picturing somebody kicking back and they've got like, cognac or something, and they're just, swirling it and sipping it slowly. This feels like the landscape of our character's life is about to change, specifically in what makes them happy. I don't know if our character has gone through like a whole, like I almost feel like, when we get a certain like benchmark in our life, and sometimes we recognize those benchmarks because it's like a birthday, everybody acts like, oh, if you turn 50, if you turn a certain age, if you turn, that it can hit us really hard. I've never felt that way. I don't really think very much about age at all, because I've never found myself aging on certain like benchmark dates. I just know that I feel like in every 7 years or so, I notice that there's like an overall new like maturity level that goes through me, or I look at the world through just a little bit broader lens maybe. And it seems like that happens about every 7 years, but not on like a specific date exactly. It's just kind of there is a growth pattern, I think, that I've noticed for myself. But I'm picturing, that's the best way I could describe this. I don't think that it's like, oh, I'm turning an age, therefore this is my benchmark, and now I'm in this next phase of my life and I'm really cognizant of it. I think this kind of creeps up on our character a little bit, but then they arrive at this much happier layer of their life. Now, the 10 of Cups, this could be the next decade of this character's life is going to be one to really savor. There could be a lot more flowers. There could be a lot more, I know it's all like this beautiful pottery, but there could be a lot more beauty, finer things, artistic type of things that come into our character's life. It's a more beautiful look at the world. It's a more beautiful look at like savoring things that they love, and it can definitely be love itself that is coming in. So really, really beautiful. Okay, let's change decks though, because my dear, let me go ahead and pull one more trio of cards for you to say thank you, Yale. You're so generous always, my dear. It's my pleasure, Yale. You have got the Ace of Swords. All right, so an Ace of Swords for our character. This is a fresh new idea. The light bulb has gone on. The Tower again, very exciting. Boy, big changes. This is somebody's mindset changing, not just their heart now. I intended this to be a completely different story, but wow, this is a character who has got, it's almost like everything's changing, right? So here we had kind of the heart, here we have the intuition, and here we have the mind, and everything keeps opening up and broadening. So I will say, if our character was a bit of like a mystic, didn't give themselves credit for that, maybe now they are. If our character was somebody who's like, they've always had a sense of like, just the right answer comes to them. I could picture this as somebody, because this looks very dreamy or like brainstorm kind of, I don't know, we have literally like rain clouds up above, but it's more like ideas that just kind of come flooding in. I think that our character is realizing that they have a unique way to tap into the messages from the universe, and maybe always have. Right at a moment where they need an answer, they always get it. They maybe have not given themselves enough credit until now that this is the way their brain operates, or this is the way their connection to the universe is. They're accepting it, and they're realizing maybe there's a vibration to me. Maybe I am kind of like a conduit for some energetic downloads. Maybe I am the obelisk. And I say that because here we have like, that lightning, of like our neurons connecting. Here we literally have lightning coming in from the atmosphere. And here we have, a quartz crystal, which is that very earth, terrestrial, high vibrational energy source. Everything here is about energy. But I'm wondering if our character is just starting to recognize. Also, everything is very like pillar shaped. So I keep feeling like there's like an obelisk, or this person has, maybe they do a lot with like a pen, something that has, a tip to it, right? Writing our ideas down could be a really great way to brainstorm. But I feel like everything is like a conduit of energy through our character, and then they can give it or they can receive it. I feel like this is a character who is starting to recognize maybe they've always had the ability to say, I need the answer to this. And it appears to them. And if that's one of these changes that our character goes through, where they're like, let me put this into action a little bit. Let me give myself a little bit more, credibility here. I do usually get the right answer when I need it. If I'm trying to figure out money, if I'm trying to figure out where to go next in life, if I'm trying to figure out my next layer of life, my next chapter, my next adventure, I never get the answer until I actually go, okay, I'm ready for that. And then it just appears seemingly out of nowhere. How come it was already stored in my brain? Or is it that it's stored in the cosmos and all I have to do is receive it? Like basically I can open up the Akashic records if I choose to at any point in time. I just have to welcome the knowledge in. This is, I know it's kind of sci-fi-esque, but I so love this message, because sci-fi stories are some of my favorites, and energy stories are some of my favorites. But this really looks like we have a character that is the high priestess. High priestess doesn't matter, but we do have some strong Virgo vibes. We have some really strong Cancer and Pisces. So we're getting a lot of like earth and water in this. And then of course we had more Aries, so some more fire, and then some air. So definitely thoughts, some heart related energy over here, some emotional energy. And then we've got kind of like the mysticism mixed in. But I think it all makes sense for this character. And if this is like their navigation tool, like this is the vehicle for this next like adventure of their life, I could see that these two actually fit together. Even though this is more like the nuts and bolts and rudimentary things that a character has to figure out when they ask the universe for like, hey, I'm ready for something. I need to know how this is going to work. Let me come up with a plan. And then bam, the plan shows up. But this is them saying, somehow I knew it was going to go this way. In fact, I already knew this. I knew exactly what the plan was. I knew exactly how this would unfold. I feel like this character is perpetually marveling over how they're not really that surprised that things tend to work out for them. It's pretty amazing character. All right, I'm going to go ahead and leave this one here. You guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Yael Rubin, thank you again, sweetheart. I am so very honored. Thanks for being here. You are so awesome. Yeah, it's my pleasure. The Queen Bee, you sweetheart. Thanks. Nice to see you. RS, hi, babe. Hey, Robin. I didn't even see the chat. I've been so busy, so lost in our stories. Bobby Harris, great to catch you. Victoria Rosenois, my pleasure, love. Michelle Tressel. Hey, Catherine. I hear you, Queen Bee. Cherry Coleman, hey, hey. Deep Blue Night Thoughts, congratulations, sweetheart. I'm so happy for you. Melissa G, wonderful to catch you, love. Hi, Vernell. Thanks, Vernell. I'll tell my mom she picked this. She picked the top, so. And White Light. Thanks again, love. Lauren.co, who that? San Moy, wonderful to catch you. How are you? Laverde, how are you, honey? Rachel's Magic, Tyranny Dawn. Great to catch you guys. Happy Friday evening. I'm going to be over on the other channel as well tonight for a few videos. And then I'll catch some in the earlier part of the day tomorrow. And then I've got some playtime with my mommy again. So I had to share her a little bit. I can't just hoard her only to myself. So that's why I got to pop on here tonight. Goddess of the Moon. Hi, honey. Timothy Gorman. Great to see you, love. Voyager 2, thank you. Escar. Hi, honey. Seashells. Thanks again so much. Electro Beats family account. You guys are so generous. Living Water. Patricia Bookouture. Sassy, thank you. Kim Pruitt's in the house. Hi, honey. Marabuka, shout out to you, my dear. Marabuka, you're New Zealand, right, babe? Or is it Australia? Forgive me if I just got that wrong. Muds Moiki, I think, is New Zealand, but I thought you were New Zealand too. Forgive me if I just said it wrong. Patricia, thank you, love. Just Mr. John, hi. Rebecca S. Godzilla MC, thanks for being here, sweetie. RIBGHS, thank you for being here. Hey, Ad, right back to you, love. Tammy Secord, hi. Pipsy, I love it. Hey, you're quoting Eamon. That's awesome. I know it was a while ago, right? Rachel's Magic, yes. Erica. Yes, RS, you're so right. It is such a classic by Eamon. Sun, Moon, Venus, Divine. Hi, sweetheart. Christina 111. With Juno Wild. Wonderful to see you. You're very brave. You love and respect the snakes. That's awesome. Ken's in the house. Queen Ditch, wonderful to see you. Hi, T. Awesome, T. Oh my gosh, Yale. Oh, sweetheart. Yale, thank you again. Yale, do you want me to pull 3 more cards for you, or you want to tell me cards someday on another day? You can do whatever you wish, love. Kins, thank you, honey. Crystal Pixley. Yale Rubin just gifted 5 more memberships, you guys. So Marissa, Jessie T, Crystal Rose, Yaswe, Rushik Shah. All of you are now new members, courtesy of Yale. Oh my God, you are so kind, Yale Rubin. You have always been such an incredible gifter on my channel. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Williams Chris, so into it 3-3. Serena Eden, right back at you, Yale. Hey, Astro, nice to see you. All right, Yale, you let me know whenever you can call in the word card, and I'll pull 3 more for you sometime, okay? I know you well enough now to know that if you don't answer me right away, then it's because you're like, I think I'll leave that sitting out there someday. You are so kind. All right, you guys. I will see you. I'll do a couple of videos over on the other channel tonight and get to some of the zodiacs. I'm still missing 2 from earlier today, but my goal is to get quite a few done between tonight and tomorrow. So I will see you on the other channel. Guys, lots of love. Thank you so much. Highly developed BS detector. Thank you, honey. Bye, D'Artagnan. Thank you, Yale. Bye for now, guys.